Do you want to grow sales faster? You need more trust with your prospects and clients. Welcome to the 2021 Trust Building Challenge, brought to you by Selling from the Heart. Each day, you'll be challenged and equipped with new ideas to grow and sustain trust. You'll discover practical ideas that you can put to work right away to help you grow your sales. You're about to be coached by some of the world's foremost sales thought leaders and practitioners. This is going to be practical and fun. So grab a pen and notepad and get ready to take action as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Daryl Amy.
Hello and good morning, and it's a good morning today, isn't it, Larry?
Oh, Daryl, you have no idea. It's a very blue day today. My eyes are still burning and all that from last night. All y'all know I'm a Dodger fan, and the Dodgers beat the Cardinals last night. Epic playoff game. I love the Dodgers.
Congratulations, Larry. It was good. We were all up late last night celebrating, but we're back here this morning. We're focused and we're ready to grow. It's going to be a fantastic day. If this is your first day at the 2021 Trust Building Challenge, just welcome. We're so glad you're here. This has been an incredible experience. There are people here from all over the world. And one thing we all have in common, this is a movement of authenticity in the sales profession. And we absolutely love the heart behind this group. And speaking of, there is a group. If you want to get involved and meet some like-hearted sales professionals, we welcome you to join us. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Let's put the chat is got the link to the LinkedIn group. It's a private group right here for the challenge. And it's so encouraging, Larry, just to see the feedback, the encouragement, all the things that are going on right now inside the challenge. In fact, I got a great response here from our friend Matt. Larry, I thought this was a fantastic story of authenticity and trust.
It's so good. And I encourage you all, reach out to Matt Nelson. He's also in the Selling from the Heart Insiders group. Just salt of the earth. I actually got to know Matt at Outbound this past summer. What a guy.
But, this goes right to the heart of trust in sales. We said on day one, quoting Stephen M.R. Covey, right? If you got trust, things speed up. Business at the speed of trust is a good thing. And in sales, when we've got trust, good things happen, right? You come across, and this is a conversation we're all going to be having here, if we haven't already, with our clients in today's environment, right? The rates are going up in so many different markets. But here's Matt. He has a relationship of trust, and the client says, "Thank you, Matt. Let's increase so we can find the trucks. I trust you. I trust you." This is the game changer. This is the X factor. This is what we need right now in this world full of empty suits. People are looking for sales professionals that they can trust. And this work we're doing here this week, and the work we're going to continue in the months to come in the intensive, is all about integrating trust into every phase of the sales process.
Yeah. And this is heavy work, but it's heavy work that's much needed. If you guys can double down on this and take this to heart, no pun intended, but really take it to heart, watch what starts to happen in Q4 as you start rolling into Q1 into 2022.
Absolutely. Hey, look who else is here. We got Jill in the house from Cleveland. What's going on? We're just talking about you,
literally, Jill. 10 minminutes ago, Daryl and I were just talking about you, going, we haven't heard from Jill in a while. And
you're going to get a shout out here in a minute. Yeah, you've been ringing all the way from sunny Cape Town. We're glad you're here. This is so exciting right now. By the way, if you want to meet some of these people, we have a VIP reception. It's going to be this evening. It's at 5:00 Eastern Standard Time. That is 2 o'clock on the West Coast. I don't know what that is.
Higher math. Hey, Daryl, isn't that higher math?
It is. It's a lot of math for a sales guy, right? So, but there's a VIP reception tonight. We'd welcome you to join us, and it's going to be a lot of fun just hanging out with other participants. Some of our presenters will be there. And on top of that, Larry, there is some swag. This would not be a VIP challenge without some swag. We got a brand new swag. You
got to see some of this. So, I recognize some of the names on here. So you all know that the more you hang out with Daryl and I, the more we just like having a great time, and we're both kind of dorks. So anyway, here's part of this. Check this out. Selling from the Heart socks. So that's part of it. I love these things. Great conversation pieces. Here's a hat. So that's part of it. And then there'll be some other things, a sign selling from the heart book, and there'll be some pens and some other things that'll go in there. Those will all be going out probably within the next week.
Fantastic. That's so exciting. So definitely check that out. We'd love to see you at the VIP reception. We're going to have a good time. You'll also get a signed copy of Larry's book and my book as well. We'll hook you up. It's going to be fun. And that's what we're all about here is we're having a good time. And inside this network of people that are dedicated to building trust, it's so cool. One of the best ways to build trust is related to our sponsor today, which is From the Heart Cards. And Larry, I was just going through my stack this morning. I love sending cards. So this is, you send cards to me all the time.
I sent that to you. So, hey, so really quick. So when Daryl and I start talking about inspirational experiences on part of what we're going to roll out with the trust formula, this is part of the inspirational experience. That's just us being geeks, but
yeah, there we are. This was like a month ago in Venice Beach. We were having fish tacos and we were brainstorming what this challenge was going to look like. And you know what? You memorialize this. This is sitting on my desk. I have stacks of these. Here's one. So when I got asked to speak at Outbound, we're going to give a shout out to Outbound tomorrow. I think it was Limmer that sent me this, and sends Outbound speakers as a congratulation. Then catches a snapshot of me and Leslie on the beach. There's me 1 week not shaved. That's all you get. And it was it's just such a cool way to personalize stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's the same thing. So there's my wife Robin. So when we all go out, it's so funny because the minute I put a picture of myself and Robin out there on Facebook, we go, how many days before we get a card in the mail? But it's just, you know what? You put stuff out there because people want to be seen and heard. That's such a great picture of PAX.
Look at this Father's Day. How thoughtful is this? This is like 3 or 4 years ago.
It might be longer than that.
Yeah, but hey, how thoughtful is this, right? So this is Father's Day. Someone goes on my Facebook, grabs a picture of me and my son. You know who did that? Oh, she's right here on the back. There's Jill. Shout out to Jill. Yeah. How about that? Talk about, I have not had, this. We don't see each other very often. This is a way to reach out with a really personal touch and build trust. I am such a believer in this. And if you want to try it out, you got to try it out. Just go to fromtheheartcards.com. That'll put you through to this is all powered by Send Out Cards, which is so amazing. I could spend the whole morning talking about the vision. You'll learn more about it when you go to fromtheheartcards.com. Send your first card for free, and you can send a congratulations card to Larry with a screenshot of that walk-off home run last night. That'll probably help boost some trust.
If you do, I'd love it. I'd probably frame it and put it in my office.
So yeah, absolutely. Check that out from theheartcards.com. All right. We're here talking about trust. Here's somebody who has built a career on trust. And, this is Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha. He has built an amazing investment portfolio he builds his portfolio using trust as a filter. And what he said, Larry, here, trust is like the air we breathe. When it's present, nobody really notices, but when it's absent, everybody notices.
So let's just key in on this for just a moment. The last part of this is so powerful. When there's no trust, when it's absent, everybody notices it. Think about that for a second and how that plays out with client relationships, the breakdown of client relationships, and even as y'all are building new business, when there's an absence of trust, everybody notices that. It's sensed immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is why the work we're doing is so critical. This is why, bringing guys like Don Pardon yesterday. How about Don?
Oh,
wow. It was incredible.
I do have to give a shout out to Don on this one. Dave Sanderson, you're going to love this. So yesterday I get an email from somebody who was watching in Canada. And this guy said, this was the best sales training I've ever received, all boxed up in 30 minutes.
Unbelievable.
So amazing.
Yeah, I agree. It was fantastic. Hey, by the way, look, Jerry just sent a box of brownies. You can send cards and brownies if you really want to up your game on that. That's a great way to somebody's heart. But yeah, it's absolutely, this is why we're leaning into folks like Marcus Ogden, Don Barden. We got Dave Sanderson in the house. I see him in the green room back there. He's like, just put me in, coach. Let's go. And tomorrow, Dr. Maria Church, love-based leadership, Todd Capone. We're going to get Simon Harris back in here from our Facebook debacle on Monday. And all of this is all aiming at this whole reality. When we look at the challenges that we face as sales professionals right now, right? We've been talking about this every day this week. There are so many challenges that are all related to trust, because all of these things, whether it's deals stuck in the pipeline, getting ghosted during a sale, the trap of the RFP, margin pressures, just go down the list. Even that conversation we're all going to have at some point this year about, hey, the price has gone up. All of these issues of sales are remediated or made less of an issue when trust is in the house. But trust doesn't just come naturally. In fact, with sales, unfortunately, it's the exact opposite. In lists and the Edelman Trust Index and all these different things we look at, usually sales, we're like tied or just right above politicians when it comes to trust. So we walk in the room with like nothing or negative, not your fault, but it's just because of the position that we're in. So we've got to get really, really strategic and conscientious and focused in how we build trust, which is why we put together the trust formula. You're going to meet Dave in a minute. He's the guy that got us jazzed. He got us
thinking about the formula. But I want to just go back to what you just said, and then we'll roll out this and we'll bring Dave on. Yeah. But the trust, and I'm a big believer in this. And, this is the first part of the equation around authentic relationships. Mm-hmm. To me, trust bridges the relational divides that occur out there between salespeople and the marketplace. If we can really hone in together on the equation and what trust means through the eyes of selling from the heart, I promise you this, and I'm gonna steal what Don Barden said yesterday. We promise if you guys can hone in on this, you'll double your business next year.
Yeah, and it's just because it affects every single one of these areas. And you look and you go, okay, if I have an improvement in pipeline velocity, I have an improvement in my prospecting, I have an improvement in my ability to cross-sell, I have an improvement in all these different areas. What happens is acceleration. It's like putting the right oil in the engine. And this is the formula we've been working on this week, the trust formula. Actually, this formula got first drawn on a napkin back when we were eating fish tacos. This has been evolving over the years. If it happened with fish tacos looking at the Pacific Ocean, it's going to be good. But this is it, right? The two sides of the trust coin: authentic relationship, meaningful value. You got to have a relationship. Relationship without value is what? A friend. We need more than friends. We need deals. Value without relationship is you don't close business. You're just a smart guy, right? And you're going to be second on the list without the relationship. And there's no second place in the sales scenario. But then the multipliers, Larry, this is where it comes in, right? With these multipliers.
And it's the inspirational experiences. Just think, right? It's the cards, right? Mm-hmm. It's the cards. It's the bomb video. Mm-hmm. It's staying top of mind. It's touching somebody's heart. It's finding something that's near and dear to them and sharing it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then not the fun. This is not the fun part, but here's what I want to say. Disciplined habits. We know in sales, we got to have disciplined habits with prospecting, right? If you don't, your pipeline is going to be empty. And, so we know these things about things like prospecting, but disciplined habits, we've got to find ways to integrate in disciplined habits for trust building. Because when we do that, that's like I was telling yesterday, it's like pouring diesel fuel on the fire. Yep. You're going to get it lit. Even if the wood's wet, you're going to get a fire going. So this is what we're all about. And I thought one of the things I love about Dave Sanderson, I know he's going to bring this in. Dave is a master at helping sales professionals and helping all of us ask the right questions to determine what is the meaningful value to a prospect. Like, what's most important to them? Your company, your product, all that. You got dozens of value propositions, slide decks galore. You got all kinds of stuff. Remember, Don said you only remember 15% of what people tell you, 100% of how they make you feel. And this meaningful value, we got to be able to get to that. I know Dave's going to coach us on that. This is something we really want to drill into. We've been talking about the intensive coming up, the trust building intensive. This is going to be a journey that we all take together. There's going to be 12 elite sales professionals in this journey. And we're going to take this journey and we're going to work across this formula. We're going to work on authentic relationships, meaningful value, the inspirational experience, the disciplined habits. And what does that mean? And how do we take trust from something we want to something that is actually part of our DNA and who we are in salespeople? And more importantly, how do we apply that to every phase of the sales process? Client management, prospecting, and selling. We'll talk actually later today when we send out the details on the trust building intensive. You'll learn why we put client management first in a world where people usually put prospecting first. We have a reason for that, which we'll discuss in that video. But I want you to just have your eyes open. This isn't for everybody. This is for sales professionals that want to dive in, that really want to roll their sleeves up, and they want to make 2022 their best year yet in sales. So if that's you, if that resonates with you, message us, put your name in the chat if you haven't already. We are going to be launching details later today on the Trust Building Intensive, which is a journey we'll take with 12 individual sales reps. And we'll also be taking this journey with some corporate sales teams as well. If you're a sales leader, we'd love to talk to you about that as well. It's going to be fantastic. This is all about growing sales. And one of the best things, just kind of bridge this into all of this, we all need a coach, right? Every one of those pitchers last night for the LA Dodgers, there's another just shameless prop. Congratulations.
Oh, you're making me,
Larry.
Hey, Daryl, you're making me feel good. Continue talking.
Every pitcher, every batter, every fielder has a coach, right? And we gotta invest in coaching all the top performers. You go, well, that guy's a Major League Baseball player. He doesn't need a coach. Yes, he does. Top performers need a coach. And this is why we're going to challenge you to invest in yourself the same way we invest. And I'm so excited to bring our coach to the table today because Larry and I both are coached by Dave Sanderson. We just absolutely have mad respect for Dave. His story, which he's going to share, I don't want to steal his thunder, is incredible. But I do want to say this. Dave you're going to hear about incredible stories and dynamic experiences in his life, but Dave is a top performer. He's been a top performer in sales his entire career. He's at the top of the list throughout his career, the top performance, because of the things he's going to teach. And so as we're hearing from Dave, who is coaching salespeople, he's coaching leaders, he's an inspirational speaker. He's been on every television show. He's traveled around the world with Tony Robbins. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I could spend the rest of the show talking about Dave.
Hey, was that in Sanderson's bio?
No, we all know Dave. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dave Sanderson. We're glad you're here.
By the way, I have to say thank you to Dave Sanderson because we don't meet Don Barden without meeting Dave Sanderson. So thank you.
Power of the network.
Thank you guys. And I tell you, first, it's my pleasure. Number one of the things we both learned from Don Barden, right? It's my pleasure. Mm-hmm. Second, I love fish tacos. So whenever I come down, I love fish tacos.
West Coast.
Yeah, I'm going, as Larry knows, I'm going to be speaking in Orange County here in a few weeks. And I expect to have fish tacos, Larry, for lunch after I get off stage. All right.
Dude, that's right. Okay. Cause I already know your schedule. I know when you're leaving. So we'll go have fish tacos.
That's right. We're going to have fish tacos. But thank you guys. And by the way, Marcus was outstanding. I know Marcus for now 4 or 5 years. Marcus rocks it. He's had a heck of a story. And I'm just very honored that, Don made time for all of us. I mean, Don is an amazing entrepreneur. He's taken me on after my mentors, passed on, and he took me on, and I get the opportunity to have this insight from him when I pick up the phone. So, Daryl, what you said is exactly right. Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs to have those little things that give you those distinctions that you may already know, but they can bring out in a different way. And Don brought it to the table yesterday. I told Don last night, I said, man, Don, you brought it. And he was extremely happy and pleased to be with you. So thank you guys for having me today. I'm excited to share some additional insights. So thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah, we are excited. And you're absolutely right. I mean, having coach and being coached is something that no high performer gets an exemption from. It's part of the deal of being a high performer. And I just want to say thank you for the way you coach me. The way you coach Larry is really amazing. And the way you're going to coach us today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, live at the 2021 Trust Building Challenge, Dave Sanderson.
Whoa, Dave.
Thank you, guys. Well, once again, it's my pleasure to be here. I'm honored to be asked to be involved, being with Daryl and Larry, and I've been honored to be able to coach them a little bit about some of the things that I have. And it really I want to sort of start with the trust factor, because that really emanated back in 1997. If you don't know my entire story, I'm not going to tell you the entire story, but starting in 1984, I had my first mentor, whose name was Bill, who for 13 years was coaching me and mentoring me on all this mindset of success that he developed back in 1929 when he started building his empire in South Carolina area. And in 1997, after my mother passed away, he invited me to his house and we sat down and talked for a few minutes. And one of the things he did for me that day is when he went over to a big roller desk, he pulled out these crumpled notes and he sat down next to me and he gave them to me. I said, "What are these, Bill?" He said, "This is what I've been teaching you. This is the notes that I hand wrote in 1929 about the lessons and mindset of success." He said, "I want to give this to you." He said, "You got to promise me one thing." I said, "What?" He goes, "Don't let it die with you." See, he trusted me to be the steward of his dreams, to pass it on to the next generation. And he trusted me with something that was of high value to him that he got in 1929 and helped him become the man he became to be. And it wasn't just about money. It was about being fulfilled, having a fulfilling life. So that's been my mission, as Daryl and Larry know, is I'm going to teach this. And I was trusted with these handwritten notes and to be able to teach it. So I'm very honored to do that. But I really want to spend some time today about talking about how you become a steward of somebody's dreams. In sales, we have the opportunity to meet a lot of people, and it's the highest paid job that we can get, but it takes effort to do it. And it takes a lot of skill sets, but it's really about building relationships and building trust and credibility with your clients. And one of the things and how I started doing that, and it was a light bulb that came on for me, is when I was actually sitting in Fiji with Tony. We were doing some things together and he invited me to be there, but he talks about what he calls the 6 human or primary needs. And I asked him this question about, how did he develop this, number one, but how could I use this in sales to build integrity and build trust with my clientele? And he was giving me some amazing insights. That's one of the things I tell Larry and Daryl and everybody I talk to is like, if you have a chance to be around these kind of masters, take it. You never know what you may learn. But I don't know if anybody knows what the 6 primary needs are, but let me go through them and let me sort of share with you what I learned and how I use them in sales, and then how I transition that to build trust and credibility with my clients. The first of the primary needs, everybody's got these 6 primary needs. It doesn't matter if you live in South Africa, if you live in the United States, if you live in Canada, it doesn't matter. Everybody has these 6 primary needs. But everybody's got one of these needs that is sort of centered to them. It's their primary of these needs. The first need everybody has is the need for certainty. And think about, as I talk about this, think about your clients. Your clients have these 6 needs. And if you understand this one concept, this is the one concept that took me from being a really good salesperson to being a top salesperson. And once I started integrating this philosophy into my sales, it helped me not only build credibility, but I became a trusted friend and they became raving fans, which at that point in time, you don't have to do prospecting. They pick up the phone and call you. So the first need that everybody has is a need for certainty. And this is what people were lacking this last year. Over this last year of COVID was going on, all of our clients, everybody who was around had a lack of certainty because no one knew what was coming on, because everybody has this need. They want to be in control. They want to have the understanding that, what I do is I'm certain I'm going to get an outcome. If I do step 1, 2, 3, I'll get the outcome. And everybody's got this need for certainty and control. It's the primary need everybody has. And this is occasionally one of the needs that my wife has, that once I realize that, I can feed that need to her, is make sure she has certainty what she's going to get outcome for. And my clients likewise. If they work with me, they know they're going to get A, B, or C. This came about really with one of my clients I had down in Florida. And I asked him a question over dinner. And I said, I'm the guy you're going to call at 2:00 in the morning. You're not going to call the support person. You're not going to call somebody over in India. You're going to call me, and I'm going to handle it for you. I want to give them a certainty to know that when times get tough, and in every sales situation, as we all know, something's going to happen. It's not going to all be pixie dust and sunshine. So the first need that everybody's got is certainty. The first need that I really start talking to my clients about is how I can help them be certain. But the challenging part of that is this. You can go through your life and have all this certainty, and sometimes you get to a point where you get bored. It's like, if you go to Vegas every time and you pull the thing down and all of a sudden you get the same outcome every time. Yeah, it's fun for the first $1 million, but that $1 million and $1, like, I've done this, I know the outcome. So the second primary need everybody has, the need is for variety, something they have to change things up. So, this is why people may go, skydiving or do something different, because they want to shake their life up a little bit, because sometimes when they get so much certainty, they need to have some variety in their lives to sort of spice things up. And your clients have the same thing. One of the reasons they may be talking to you is because, you may give them a unique perspective on how they can do their business and help them get the outcomes they want. Instead of doing A and C, you may be talking about C, D, and F. So the second need everybody has is a need for variety. The third need that all of our clients and everybody has is a need to be seen as important or significant. If you help them get this outcome, how is that going to help them on the personal level be significant in their business, help them drive revenue, or be the number one company in their market? This is a very, very strong need that everybody has. And we all have this personally likewise. All of us want, excuse me, if we're in sales, we want to be the top salesperson. Because we want to be seen as significant, as the best, as outstanding. So the third primary and need everybody has, including our clients, is the need to have significance or importance. And the fourth primary need is this, is the need for love and or connection. If it's a personal relationship, it's love. If it's a business relationship, it's connection. People want to feel that they have connection with you. That once again, you're going to be there at 2:00 in the morning if something's going on, or their child is having a problem and they need to cancel a meeting but they need you to step up and do something for them. They need to have that connection. But the challenge part of that is this. And this is one of the things I ran into in my sales career. And I'm going to be very transparent. I was with a company named ADP years ago. And every quarter, every month and quarter, I was a top sales guy. And yeah, I had a lot of certainty, and I hate to use the word pretty cocky at that point, because I was pretty good. And I felt significant in my company because I was getting all the awards. But the problem with that is this. When you get all the awards, you always have to be the number one person. How can you build connection when other people want to have the same outcome? So people sort of go drive away from you. And that's what was happening to me a lot, because I was always the number one guy because I was driven. I was achiever oriented. I had to be significant. But I didn't have any connection with anybody in my company. I had connection with my clients, but not my company. So these are two different needs that everybody's got and everybody needs, but sometimes they challenge each other. The fifth primary need that everybody has is, and this is really targeted towards salespeople, is the need for growth. We all need to grow. If you're not growing, you're what? You're dying. You're not making any progress. And this is what our clients need likewise. If to trust you, they want to know that you're going to help them grow, whatever outcome they have, whether it's reducing clock speed out in the factory plant, or help drive revenue, or on the other side, am I going to reduce my workplace environment challenges, such as if I have workplace injuries? How am I going to do that? How am I going to grow and help my company grow and be seen as the company culturally diverse right now, which is one of the most common things that I'm getting asked about. That's the fifth need that everybody personally and for business has. And the sixth and probably the most driving, most important need that everybody has is the need to contribute. Am I contributing to a greater good? Am I contributing to my company? Am I contributing to my relationship with my spouse or significant other? How am I contributing? How am I adding value to the community? So these are the six primary needs that everybody has, and every person and every company has. And if you understand this, you can start understanding why people do what they do. This was a mind-blowing experience for me when I sat down and learned the intricacies of this. But then this is what I found out likewise. This is what the distinction for me was. Is everybody's got these needs, and they have these needs all the time, but everybody's got one primary need they go to when times get tough. And I'll give you an example. I'll talk about my wife for a second. My wife's primary need is a need for certainty. She needs that more than anything else. She grew up in a household where she was always taken care of. I promised her dad that I would take care of her. She had the need for certainty. But my need at that point in time in sales was variety. I want to do a lot of different things. So when I came home, I was talking about variety. All she wanted to talk about certainty. And a lot of times we had clashed. And it was really challenging my personal relationship. And I need to really be able to understand once I understood what her primary need was, I could feed that. So every time I started changing, saying how much certainty I was going to give her, that, the bills are being paid and things were going to happen, all of a sudden my relationship went a whole different direction. 35 years later, we're still together. This is what happens in business likewise, right? Everybody in that company that you're talking to right now has all these needs, but one primary need they're driving for. And once I understood this, I started understanding, how can I understand? The biggest question I get when I teach this is, well, that's great, Dave. Everybody's got these needs. Everybody's got a primary need they're driving for. But how do I find out what need they have? Good question. So I developed a couple questions so I could understand what the primary need of my client was and how I could best serve them. And these are the two questions that I ask every time when I begin a business relationship. After all the rapport building and started getting rapport, I ask number one this: what's most important to you in this situation? Whether it's technology or whether it is, and I want to understand what's most important to them. Because it doesn't matter what's important to me. Like Don was talking yesterday, right? People want to feel. They want to have the connection of feeling. So what Don was saying is spot on. So if you understand what's most important to them, the second question is this: what has to happen for you to realize that? And once I ask these two questions, I understand the map, the strategy that I really need to help them with. Because if I understand that, I also understand, you know what? I need to be able to make sure this project is going to go flawless. I can't have a chance this thing goes sideways. It's my job. So that person wants certainty. So everything that I'm going to talk to them about, everything that I'm going to make them feel is that when they're talking to me, they're going to get certainty. Or you may have somebody you're talking to say, you know what? I'm driving for a promotion. If I do this project well, then I'm going to have a chance to be a vice president or to the next level up. So they want what? They want significance. So I'm going to talk to them every time I talk to them. Every those three things at the meeting that Don was talking about, and I do the same thing. When I talk to those three things, everything I'm going to talk to them about is what? How I can help them be significant in their company or important in their company, help them get to a better place. Nowadays, right now, a lot of conversation, I don't know about your companies, the companies and organizations I'm speaking to, talk about culture and diversity. How can I help them with that? They say, what's most important to you is I need to make sure that my organization is more diverse. What has to happen? Well, I've got to be able to look at a bigger picture. I got to be able to look at people's backgrounds in a different way. I got to look at how am I going to really make this organization diverse. So what am I going to talk to them about? How my product is going to help them be able to build their organization in a multicultural / diverse way. Once I started asking these two questions, all of a sudden my sales went from being 100% to 150 to 200% because those people, I had immediate trust and credibility because they knew that I was listening to what was most important to them. I made them feel like I was in their family. I was part of them. And made a raving fan out of me. See, one of the things that always comes down to, and Larry and Daryl know this, it's about a one-on-one relationship. Tom Hopkins taught me this back in 1989. It was the same then, it is now. Sales is a belly-to-belly business. So I want to help them trust me. So I want to make sure they know that I understand. Like Don was talking about understanding yesterday. Understand what is most important, so I can help them achieve their personal outcome, their personal mission. Now, there's sometimes people won't open up to you. So you have to go and look at third parties, their assistants or other people, and understand what's driving them. But I tell you, this one thing changed the way I do sales and did sales. And when I get on stage and speak, is when I go to an audience, I'll give you an example. I'm speaking tomorrow in South Bend, Indiana, to about 375 people. When I go on that stage, I'm looking around the audience, and I know everybody in that audience has these 6 needs. But I'll try to identify just by visually what's driving them. So I'm using language to see which one gets their attention. So when I'm looking at them and talking to them, I'm talking about certainty or variety or significance or connection or growth or contribution. And this is how you connect with your audience. This is how you connect with your crowd. And let me give you an example how I use this. And it was really one of the most impactful sales that I had. But if I had not done this, used this and built credibility this way, we would have never got this opportunity. So I was relatively new with an organization, a Big 5 accounting firm by the name of KPMG. I was on their initial sales rollout team. And traditionally, Big 5 accounting firms had their partners do the sales, but they wanted to experiment like me to see if they could drive sales in a different way. And of course we could. And one of the things that I did is, when I prospected, I was in consumer packaged goods. So I was prospecting with one of the largest beverage companies in the world. And unfortunately, the firm that I was with, KPMG, had a relationship with their direct competitor. But my mission is to get into this organization. So I finally got in and started a sales process for what's called a supply chain strategy opportunity. And we weren't making much progress. And everybody's like, Dave, you really know? And I said, well, give me 10 days. I need to figure it out. And what I found out is this: I went to my point of contact in that company and found out what was really driving the decision maker, the CFO. And it was more about the company that they needed to work with, need to understand their culture, need to understand what's more important internally working in this organization than a supply chain strategy. So I came back to my team. I said, this is what's really driving. This is what I would like to do. I would like to invest $10,000 and find somebody who understands the legal inside processes of this organization. They're looking at me like, you're crazy. We're going to spend $10,000 up front without having any assurances on the back end. I said, I'll tell you what, I'll stake my job on it. I said, but you got to do me one favor. You got to tell the other side of the firm that they if we do this, they have to be willing to divorce the other relationship, because this was 6 times larger than the other relationship they had with their direct competitor. And I made this deal. I made the deal. I put my job on the line. You put the relationship on the line. What we did is we spent $10,000. And I brought in somebody who could really help me understand the mindset, what was important in a legal perspective, and how to work in the culture of this organization. And about 2 months later, we walked out with a $5 million engagement. Well, if I hadn't used this mindset of understanding the 6 primary needs, what's most important, what has to happen, I would have never been able to bring this sale in with one of the largest beverage companies in the world in a brand new relationship. Guys, this, like Don was talking yesterday, this is one of the most important things. If I could leave you with one thing today, there's a lot of things I can leave you with. But when you walk into your next client, your next relationship, first understand it's coming down to one of 6 things. They need certainty, they need variety, they need significance, they need connection, they need growth, or they need contribution. Ask these 2 questions. What's most important to you? And what has to happen for you to realize that? Take it down. And from that point forward, and when you do your interviews across the organization, everybody's got a different driving need. Take it down. So every time you talk to this person, as Don said, Zoom is like a way to basically bring you into their house. When you're in their house, you're talking to them, talk about that one significant need that they're driving for and how your service, your product can help them achieve that. And it's going to be different for everybody in the organization. But if you do that across the organization, everybody's needs are met. When it comes to decision time, I guarantee you, you may not get every sale, like we all don't get every sale, but you will be highly considered, if not the chosen one. And then you're talking at a different level. You're talking about becoming a part of their family instead of just a vendor. And that's the difference. All these things that Marcus and Don and I have talked about, you play at a different level. You played at an elite level. You see, there's one thing that Tony taught me. He teaches everybody. Everybody's striving towards excellence. That's great. But there's one step level higher. That 2% difference, what is the 2% difference? Becoming from excellence to outstanding. It's these two or three things that I and Don and Marcus have talked about. Going from excellent to outstanding. What does outstanding stand for? Standing out. And in sales right now, especially the way we got to do business, you've got to stand out. Everybody's excellent. Everybody's good or excellent, but not everybody can stand out. You want to be the person that stands out. And by using a couple of these strategies on building trust, you too will be the person who walks in and you walk out with either an agreement or a relationship that they will call you every single time when they have a challenge, a need, because you're the one that's going to show up at 2:00 in the morning. Larry, Daryl, thank you so much for having me today. I'll be more than happy to have if there's any questions, but just I'll leave this as we talk about. It's all about gaining trust and credibility. And what was the one thing that you and I talked about earlier this week? What are people looking for most right now, more than anything? Yeah. Is somebody to work with who's congruent.
Yep. Totally agree. And Dave, but I can't wait to hang out with you in a couple of weeks and see you. Every single time you and I hop on a call, I learn something new. But here's what I want everybody to key in on. And there's some questions. I mean, we got Dave for a little bit of time. Is think about those 6 primary needs. Imagine in a world where salespeople are not viewed as the most trustworthy people out there. Think about if you uncover what that primary need is and you serve that primary need. I promise you this, Dave, and you'll agree, instantaneously a trust bond's being built because they know that Daryl listened to me. Dave listened to me. Mm-hmm. They were willing to ask the questions or uncover what's really important to me. Watch what starts happening to trust. Watch what starts happening when they open up to you and share things they wouldn't share with somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, Larry, what Don said yesterday, understand first, right? Yes, find this out. I mean, I'll give you an example. I was on a call with a couple of vice presidents a couple of weeks ago, and it was interesting. One of the vice presidents said, "Why is that important?" I said, "You know what? Because I picked up the phone and talked to him about how his daughter was throwing the discus. Because I threw discus, in high school. I knew how to do this. So he goes, how's that going to help us with the sale?" I said, "Because you know what? He likes and trusts me. He'll invite me to New Jersey and we'll sit down and talk about discus, and then we'll get to other things." You got to get on their level, right? He wanted to talk about his daughter and her discus throwing, right? Because he trusted, he had certainty with me, right? You know what? He's going to help me not only in business, but he's going to help me in my life.
Absolutely.
And that's more important.
Well, and those are the relationships, right? That then go over the decades. It's not a transaction. These relationships follow us throughout our career. And it's so beautiful. Dave, I love the connection here between what you coached us on today and what Don was coaching us on yesterday, right? People only remember 15% of what you say. And if we go in with the feature dump, the data dump, here's every piece of value we can deliver, and it creates a negative emotion, which is, it's a showstopper. But asking that question, what is most important for you? Like what you got to rephrase that question again, because you say it so eloquently, and understanding that. And then what will it take to have you realize
what
that?
has to happen for you to realize that?
Yeah.
How are you going to realize it? Right. I don't care how your company does.
Now the meaningful value, which we were talking about earlier in the episode, right? What is meaningful to that person, not their industry, not just their position, because we have marketing gives us all this stuff, but what's meaningful to them. And that is the game changer, because then you can address on that. As Don was saying, you don't need to tell them everything but they need to feel confident enough that they can outsource that problem or that outcome to you.
Daryl, can I share a story real quick that Don was involved with me? Because this may drive this really home, guys. So last spring, this was last April, if you remember when COVID was hitting, no one wanted to see anybody. We were locked down, right? We couldn't go on sales calls. So I picked up a phone and called one of my clients in Florida, and it was a hospital. And I said, how can I help you? And he sort of jokingly said, "You know what? I need an N95 mask." I said, "Give me a few minutes." I called through my relationships, and through Don was one of them. I found a guy who had N95 mask in Indiana. And I called him back and said, "Listen, how many do you need?" He's like BS, right? I said,
right.
I have somebody who can get, I will guarantee 72 hours you can have them. Yeah. I said, "What do you need?" So all of a sudden, I'm helping him with his problem. I mean, it wasn't because I could sell software to him. It was because his problem at that point in time was getting an N95 mask for his nurses. And all of a sudden, the word got out, and I was helping hospitals all over the country. and I wasn't getting any. I mean, zero financial. But what kind of rapport did I have? Right? I'm the guy who solves your problem. Right? I'm the guy who solves the problem. I am the steward of your dreams. You know, that's what I'm going to be.
I like that. The steward of your dreams. I saw the question. So
that answers George's question perfectly.
There you
right?
go. Yeah. So that's a great question, though.
What's
George?
the most awkward or surprising answer you received? The key questions. You weren't in the N95 mask business,
no.
But that was their pressing need, and now you have a relationship of trust, and you built a whole network of people out of that, being able to help satisfy that need.
You know what, Daryl and Larry? What was amazing about that is after that whole experience, and we helped a lot of people get an N95 mask. I can pick up the phone and call any CFO of those companies now, and they know who I am, right?
Yep.
And I'm already in the executive suite. I'm playing at a different level, right? Because you're helping people with their problems, not just their business, their life.
Hey, so time out on this. This is a great place to stop. There's sales professionals and sales leaders that I know are watching this right now. Key in on what Dave just said, because I think this is the hardest thing. This is my opinion, guys. Where salespeople sometimes I go, well, what's in it for me, right? Because there's nothing immediate. We can either try to play the sales game, playing the short game, and we know where that gets us, or we can learn how to turn this into a career by playing the long game. And this is long game stuff. But you got to commit to this. And this is something that you just got to do every single day, and it will come back tenfold. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, most definitely. I can't tell you, Larry and Daryl, how many people have just called me and said, thank you for getting this mask. I mean, that's when you couldn't find masks, right? And because all the masks were coming from China. Right? But I'll tell you one thing I also uncovered, just a side note, because this helped other people in different ways. What we found out is the supply chain that they had, how they handle supply chain issues, was flawed because they had so many steps they had to go through. The CFO says, give me the mask. Here, I'll give you $1 million for mask. And you go work with procurement officer. Procurement says, you got to do these 12 steps. It's like, dude, this is the Wild West, right? I got someone here who can get masked tomorrow. And we found out that their internal supply chains were broken. Because when you need to make these decisions, these life and death decisions quickly, you don't have time to do 12 steps, right? You got to get to the answer quick.
Yeah.
So that also unveiled a lot of problems when I talk to people about supply chain issues now. You know?
Yeah.
So,
this is just beautiful, and this is the heart of service that that Don talks about in the last chapter, the perfect plan. We talk, Larry talks about in Selling from the Heart, a servant-led mindset going into sales. And this is like you're saying, Larry, these are the things as sales professionals we want to be. Every sales professional wants to be the trusted advisor, as Dave Tegmeyer was saying. But this is what makes us stand out, right? This is the outstanding factor, is our putting our money where our mouth is and actually integrating these habits and this way of thinking and acting.
Yeah, no, it's so spot on, because I was on a call earlier this week. Dave and I were just doing a one-on-one, and this whole trusted advisor. I'm going to use the 3 words, Dave, if you don't mind, that you shared with me, because I think it brings trust right to the forefront. Is Dave Tegmeyer used trusted advisor, but I'm going to challenge people who use trusted advisor. Are you congruent with using that term trusted advisor? Because Dave talks about this all the time. We must be congruent. And we must bring authenticity and integrity to the forefront. If you don't have those 3 things, along with all the other things we're talking about, trust is going to be really hard to build.
Yeah, so good. Oh, Dave, thank you. What a time. And just before you go, though, everyone wants to get a copy of Moments Matter. You got to get this. This is your story about the unplanned landing in the Hudson River that you just swam across. There's so many cool things.
We'll
You've
talk
got a
about
new
that
book
next time. And as you know, my next book's coming out in about 60 days. So
I know. Tell us about the new book really quick, because everyone needs to get this on their radar and get it pre-ordered.
Well, thank you. The book's called From Turmoil to Triumph. It's an amazing story about my mentor and what he taught me, these lessons he taught me, and how all of a sudden I learned, not only from him, but through my parents, how to really turn whatever challenge that I had into a victory. And as Daryl just sort of said a moment ago, I just did that by swimming across the Hudson River, going back for redemption with the Navy SEALs, the elite of the elite, who hold you to standards and hold you to discipline. and it was an amazing experience. So it's I look forward to it. I will be more happy to get this out to you as soon as we get the final stuff done.
Yeah, we will have you back to talk about that book. Dave, you're a true inspiration. Thanks for investing in this today, and thanks for just being a champion for Selling from the Heart. It is just an honor, and we love you, man.
My pleasure.
Love you. See you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Wow, Larry, what another great day at the challenge. You just think it can't get better, right? It keeps getting better. And the way this is all weaving together, I'd like to say we planned all of it, but we didn't. We just invited people that we trusted to coach us. Go. And here we are, Dave saying, how do we get meaningful value? How do we communicate that? And I think what he taught us today is so practical and so powerful, and it dovetails perfectly with what we learned yesterday from our friend Don Barden.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting, and we go back to Tuesday with Marcus, and yesterday, Wednesday with Don, and then just right now with Dave.
Mm-hmm.
To me, this is simple things. It's not overly complicated things that we're all talking about. So here's my challenge to the salespeople that are out there, sales leaders and sales professionals. It's the simple things. It's the little things. It's the things that we've known all along work. And that's what Marcus reinforced and Dave reinforced and Don reinforced yesterday. It's all authenticity. It's heart. It's sincerity. It's showing gratitude and appreciation in a meaningful way, and just sharing with people, I will be there for you, and make them feel comfortable that doing business with you is the right choice.
That's right. And I think, Jackie, you said it great. Jackie, by the way, congratulations. Jackie's the newest coach on the Selling from the Heart team. But yeah, you put people and clients ahead of your commission, and it will come back to you. It's going to come back. And this is the heart behind Selling from the Heart. This is the heart behind everything that we're doing here this week. It's the heart behind the intensive that's coming up. I want to just say, once again, look for details later today. If you're that person that says, I got to operationalize this, I got to make this part of my DNA. I need to up my game so I can become outstanding, not just excellent. The Trust Building Intensive, we're building it just for you. So definitely check that out. And we've got some exciting stuff ahead. We're not done with the challenge, Larry. We got coming to the house tomorrow.
Oh
just
my gosh.
Wait. I can't wait for y'all to meet Dr. Maria Church. She's the author of Love-Based Leadership. And you know what? If you think about what we're doing here, we're elevating, I think the highest form of sales is leadership, right? It's casting vision, caring about other people, affecting positive change. And so you go, why are we inviting a leadership expert to the call tomorrow? Because we're leaders. Salespeople, sales professionals, outstanding sales professionals are leaders.
Yeah. And I think, what's so special about Dr. Maria Church is she was in sales. So what she's going to bring to us is not only her philosophy on leadership, but she was the head of sales and marketing for a Fortune 500 company before she exited to write her book. So you're in for a treat tomorrow, because you're getting leadership and you're getting sales tomorrow.
It's going to be pure dynamite. So here's the challenge. I want you to take what you learned from Dave. And I saw several people in the chat going, I'm going to rewind this and watch it over and over again. Good idea. It's on YouTube. You'll get the link. You can replay it. I invite you to share this challenge with your friends, colleagues, and your clients. I mean, your clients are going to benefit from this as well. So share this challenge. Let's get the word out. Thank you to From the Heart Cards. Give it a try. Send a card. You can send a card.
Hey, those are two good-looking guys. Thanks for holding that up.
There you go. Look at that. And seriously, personalize this. Let's build some trust in the chat inside LinkedIn. I want you to take what you learned from Dave and try it out. You're going to go on another appointment here in 7 minutes. So why not start that next appointment wondering, what are the 6 needs? Which one of the 6 primary needs is relevant to this person? And just ask them the questions that Dave coached us on, and let's build trust. So Larry, we got a lot of exciting things going on, but we're going to sign off for now. We'll see you in the LinkedIn group, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
Take care, guys.
Thank you for joining us today for the 2021 Trust Building Challenge. Building trust requires action. Your challenge to take what you have learned today and work together to put it into action right away. If you enjoyed the ideas and inspiration you've received today, please take a moment to share this challenge with your friends and clients. Let's all take action. We'll see you again tomorrow.